Have you ever let a sentence slip out of your mouth and then found your whole life turned upside down because of it? I once knew a young woman in New York who, during a light-hearted evening with friends, laughed and said, "I guess I'll never have a penny to my name." It was just a joke tossed into the air between bursts of laughter, but a year later, she was out of work with only a few dollars left in her bank account. When I saw her again, she said to me, "Florence, I wish I had never spoken those words." Her story is a vivid living proof of a truth most people never stop to consider. Your words are your magic wand, shaping your destiny every hour of every day. Right now, at this very moment, you may be planting seeds with your words and thoughts. Seeds that will blossom into the circumstances, people and results you will soon encounter. Whether you dream of a more prosperous life, a deeper, more fulfilling relationship, or a healthier, stronger body, the principle never changes. Everything begins with the words you speak and the images you hold in your mind. The wonder is you don't have to struggle, fight, or wait for luck to arrive. You simply need to learn how to play by the right rules. Picture life as a vast chessboard. On this board, every word you speak is a move, every thought a piece in play. If you know the rules, you can guide the game toward your desired outcome. If you don't, you may unknowingly place yourself in checkmate. I once watched a man transform his life simply by changing his daily refrain from, "I never have any luck," to "good things are always coming my way." Within 3 months, he had a new job, a 40% salary increase, and had met the woman who would become his wife. The change began with one simple sentence. And that is why today I want to share with you not just the theory, but the immediate practical ways to harness the power of your words and imagination. You will learn how to recognize the phrases that are pulling you downward. Replace them with words that open doors to opportunity, health, and love. Use your imagination as the scissors of the mind to cut away negative pictures and craft a new script for your life. I will tell you the story of a woman who had exactly $2 in her purse, but filled it with words of power and received a gift of $6,000 within weeks. You will understand why one sentence can clear the fog at sea, and why each of us can do the same to dispel the fog of lack, disappointment, or fear from our own lives. So, as you sit here hearing these words, ask yourself, if life is a game, am I playing to win or to lose? In the next few minutes, I will take you on a journey to discover how every word you utter is writing the script of your future. And you will have the chance to rewrite that entire story beginning today. Prepare yourself for... In the next section, we will step into the first principle, where you will see that imagination is not a dream, but the sharpest tool you possess for turning dreams into reality. Imagine, if you will, that within your mind there are 3 rooms. The first is the subconscious, a vast mysterious storehouse that never sleeps, keeping every image, every word, and every feeling you have ever experienced. The second is the conscious mind, the gatekeeper, forever analyzing, comparing, and questioning. And the third is the superconscious, the chamber of perfect ideas, the divine blueprint for the life God intended for you from the very beginning. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, "Imagination is the scissors of the mind. It cuts, trims, and arranges every picture you think upon. Then your subconscious, loyal and without judgment, works to bring those pictures into form." The trouble is, most of us allow those scissors to snip wildly, and we end up with a tangled, mismatched canvas for a life filled with colors and patterns we never truly wanted. Think back to the last time you pictured a worst-case scenario, a failed job interview, an overdue bill, or a tense argument. Did you notice your body reacting as if it were real? Your heart racing, your shoulders tightening, your mood sinking. That is living proof that imagination joined with emotion produces a powerful energy, one that can build or destroy. I once met a woman named Clara. As a child, she often played at imagining herself dressed in black, standing silently at a graveside. To a little girl, it was just a game, but the image repeated over and over for years. The result, at age 32, her husband died suddenly. Without realizing it, Clara had sown a tragic seed in her subconscious long ago. When people hear this story, they often shudder. But I do not tell it to frighten you. I tell it to make you aware that imagination is no toy. It is a mighty creative force, and used rightly, it can open a door to an entirely new life. To begin, I invite you to try this exercise for 7 consecutive days. Choose a clear goal. It could be a new job, radiant health, or a happy relationship. Write an affirmation. Keep it short, positive, and in the present tense. Example, I am working in a position that brings me joy and generous income. Close your eyes and picture it. See yourself living in that reality. Engage all your senses, sound, color, scent, touch, and emotion. Give thanks in advance, whisper or say aloud. Thank you that this is already true. Repeat morning and night, 5 minutes each upon waking and before sleeping. The key is emotion. The subconscious responds far more to feeling than to words alone. So if you can feel joy, relief, and gratitude in your imagining, you have sent the clearest signal to the universe. If you are watching this, I warmly invite you to join our community, where thousands are practicing the power of imagination and the spoken word each day. Share your goal, your affirmation, and your results to inspire others and receive encouragement when you need it most. Leave a comment below. I choose to imagine the best for myself. That will be your first step on this journey. Now you understand how imagination and the subconscious work together. But there is another secret Florence always emphasized, the law of substitution of ideas. How can you remove an old negative picture and replace it with a new image that matches the divine blueprint of your soul? In the next section, I will share the story of a woman who was about to marry the wrong man, and how she found her true love through one simple sentence that changed her destiny forever. Have you ever clung to something convinced, "This is exactly what I need," only to discover later that it was never truly meant for you? Florence Scovel Shinn called this the illusion of the conscious mind, the moment when the ego fixates on a single specific outcome, instead of opening to the highest good the universe has already prepared. She told the story of a woman determined to marry one particular man. She believed that, if it wasn't him, no one else could ever make her happy. But Florence guided her to change her prayer. Instead of declaring, "I marry John," Florence taught her to say, "The one who belongs to me by divine right now appears." The result was astonishing. Within months, she met someone entirely different, yet a perfect match for the deepest desires of her heart. He not only loved her, but shared her faith, her dreams, and a complete, unshakable respect for her. When we stubbornly hold on to a person, a job, or a single fixed outcome, we limit ourselves. The subconscious and superconscious, both of which have a far wider vision than we do, may see clearly that our choice will not bring lasting happiness. By practicing the law of substitution of ideas, replacing the old picture with a better, truer one, we open the door for the best to come in. Florence likened it to holding a dull grey stone in your hand. If you keep your grip tight, there is no room to receive the radiant jewel that is rightfully yours. That jewel is your divine right, a healthy relationship, a fulfilling career, a rich and harmonious life. Intuition is the gentle whisper within, so different from the noisy clamor of fear or sudden desire. You'll know you're sensing the right path when you feel a sense of ease. No strain, no pressure, only calm assurance and clarity. Meaningful coincidences. You happen to meet the right person, hear the right words, or come across the exact opportunity you've been drawn toward. Joy without reason. Simply thinking about it makes you smile, free from doubt or worry. One way to listen to your intuition is to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, does this make me feel expansive or restricted? If the answer is expansive, it is often the right direction. Begin by honestly looking within and naming the old idea you've been holding on to. It could be a person, a circumstance, or a very specific outcome you've refused to release. Once you've named it, pause and notice your feeling. Does it lighten your heart or weigh it down? If it feels heavy, it's time to let go. Close your eyes and imagine placing the old picture into a beautiful box. Shut the lid gently and release the box into a flowing river of light, watching it drift farther and farther away until it is gone. Now open your heart to a new image, one infinitely more perfect. See yourself living in joy, radiant health freedom, and wholehearted love. Let every detail in this new picture make you smile. Whisper softly, "The one or the thing that belongs to me by divine right now appears bringing joy and peace." Practice this each morning as you wake, and each night before you sleep, until the new image becomes vivid, alive, and fully replaces the old one in your mind. I invite you to share your own substitution affirmation in the comments. When you write it down and let others see it, you not only strengthen your own faith, but also inspire someone else who is ready for change. Write, "I open my heart to receive what is truly mine by divine right." Let that be your declaration today. Now you know how to release the wrong and welcome the right. But there is another force at work alongside it, the power of the spoken word. In the next part, I will show you why every sentence you speak is a seed of energy and how to use your words as the key to unlock the door of destiny. You will not want to miss it. Have you ever noticed how sometimes a sentence slips out of your mouth only for it to come true in the most uncanny way? Florence Scovel Shinn once declared, "By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned." Words are not mere sounds vanishing into the air. They are seeds of energy planted in the fertile soil of the subconscious. And once they take root, they grow into the actual experiences of your life. I once met a man named Michael who often joked, "I never have any luck." He said it with a laugh, but his life mirrored those words: a stagnant job, missed opportunities, and constant roadblocks in love. When Michael learned to change his speech to, "Good things are always coming my way," he began receiving new job offers, won an unexpected bonus, and met the life partner he had always hoped for. Modern psychology confirms what the ancients already knew: whatever you repeat often enough reshapes your inner beliefs. If you constantly speak of lack, your subconscious treats it as a command and sets about recreating lack in your world. But when you speak words of abundance, when you plant those images in your mind through speech, you begin to act, choose, and attract in ways that align with that abundance. Your words are like a boat. They will carry you toward the shores of joy or drift you into the seas of disappointment, depending on how you steer them. From this moment forward, imagine every word you speak as a seed dropped into the mystical garden of the universe. For the next 24 hours, be a conscious gardener. Watch every seed you plant. Whenever you catch yourself speaking something negative, don't scold yourself, simply pluck it out and replace it with a fresh, bright, life-giving seed. If you catch yourself saying, "I'm so tired," let that fade away and replace it with, "I am being renewed with energy from an infinite source of strength." If you're about to say, "Money is hard to come by," let your heart speak, "Instead, money flows to me easily and often from many lawful and gracious sources." Choose one signature affirmation for yourself, a sacred gemstone you carry in your mind all day long. It could be, "All that is good is flowing to me now under grace and in perfect ways." Each morning as the sun rises and each night as the darkness gently falls close, your eyes place your hand over your heart and repeat your affirmation 10 times, not just with your voice, but with your whole soul. Feel the joy as if it were already complete in your life. Feel the gratitude as if you had received the gift long ago. Remember, emotion is the sweet water that nourishes the seeds of speech. Without feeling, words are but sound. But when the heart vibrates, words become divine commands to the universe, and all things will move to answer. Commit to practicing this for 21 days. In that time, you will sense as if a new door has opened and gentle winds of blessing begin to stream into your life. Good things will come easily, naturally, perfectly, because you have become the master of your words, and thus the master of your life. There was a woman who had only $8 in her purse. Instead of despairing, she repeated over and over, "Money comes to me freely and abundantly." In less than a month, she received a large sum from a distant relative, enough to pay off her debts and launch a new business. This was no random miracle, it was the direct result of planting positive word seeds with unwavering faith. If you are hearing this now, I want you to leave a comment below with the affirmation you choose as your signature. When hundreds of us write down positive declarations, we create a field of energy that magnifies and quickens results for everyone. Write it now, I speak what I want to see. You now understand how powerful your words truly are. But there is still one quiet force that decides whether those words bring forth good or ill. That force is belief and fear. In the next part, I will show you why fear is faith in reverse, and how to replace it with steadfast faith to draw in the very best life has to offer. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, "Fear is faith inverted. It is faith in evil instead of good." When you are afraid, you are placing your belief in a negative outcome, and your subconscious, loyal and unquestioning, will work to make it real. This doesn't mean you must force yourself never to feel fear. It means you learn to replace fear with faith, so the mind naturally turns toward the good. I recall the story of a man who lived in constant dread of losing his job. Every day he pictured himself receiving a termination letter. It didn't take long before that image became reality. But when he recognized the connection, he began affirming, "I am protected and divinely guided to my perfect work." Within weeks, not only did he keep his position, he was promoted. Both faith and fear are based on believing in something that hasn't yet happened. The difference is, faith expands the mind, bringing relief, hope, and creative flow. Fear contracts the mind, tightening the body, and blinding you to opportunities that might have been yours. In other words, both are deposits into the future, but faith pays interest while fear runs up emotional debt. Whenever fear knocks at the door of your heart, speak to yourself with affirmations like, "Arrows of light piercing the night. I choose to believe in the best possible outcome. I am safe, protected, and always guided. Everything is working together for my good." As you repeat these words, let each one sink into your heart, soothing every shadow inside you. When your mind tries to paint a worst-case picture, don't wrestle with it. Instead, transform it, redraw that picture in its most beautiful form. See yourself supported the circumstances, turning entirely in your favor. Repeat that picture 3 times, as if sealing your subconscious with a golden stamp. Each evening, as the outer world grows quiet, open your own victory journal. Write down 3 good things that happened that day, even if it's just a smile, a sunbeam, or a kind word. You are training your mind to notice that the universe is constantly arranging things to lift you up. And when fear rises like a high tide, return to the breath, the gift of life itself. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds. Repeat 5 times, letting each layer of tension melt away until your body returns to its safe harbor. When the body is at peace, the mind can more easily believe in the good. Finally, surround yourself with uplifting energy music that lifts the soul, books that spark hope, or conversations with people who warm your heart. When your environment vibrates at the frequency of love and faith, fear loses its grip, and you begin to feel certain that you are always protected and guided on your path. A woman named Sarah once lived in constant fear for her health. Every small ache sent her mind spiraling into visions of serious illness. After learning the technique of reversing the picture, she began imagining herself healthy, running along the beach, breathing deeply, and smiling with joy. 6 months later, her medical checkup was flawless, and her doctor told her she was in better shape than she had been a decade earlier. If you are reading this, share in the comments one affirmation you will use to replace fear. By writing it down, you are already planting a seed of faith in your subconscious. Write, I choose to believe in the best. Together we can build a community that nurtures faith instead of fear. Once you know how to replace fear with faith, you discover a remarkable power, the ability to act on intuition and trust, even when you cannot yet see the whole path. In the next part, I will tell you the story of the great leaps in life that only happen when you dare to trust and step forward, and how you can create your own miracle moments. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, "When you have made your statement act as though it were already accomplished. Faith is not only a feeling in the heart, it must be translated into action. And often the action doesn't come from logic, but from that gentle whisper of intuition." I once knew a woman named Claire. Every day she affirmed that she would find her perfect job. One morning on her way to her usual cafe, she suddenly felt an urge to turn right instead of left and step into a newly opened coffee shop. There she happened to meet an old friend, someone who was looking to fill exactly the position she had been hoping for. Within a week she started her new job, all because she listened to her intuition and acted on it immediately. Faith and affirmation are like writing a spiritual check for what you desire. But if you never take the step to cash that check, you will never receive its value. Action is the bridge between your inner world and your outer results. The 21-day process. Acting on faith and intuition days. 1-7. Listen and record. Each morning spend 5 minutes sitting quietly, breathing deeply, and asking, what is my next step today? Write down every idea, no matter how small or unusual. Don't judge, yet just record. Days 8 to 14. Take small steps. Choose one idea from your list and act on it even if it seems unrelated to your goal. Pay attention to your feelings. If you feel light and excited, it's a sign you're moving in the right direction. Days 15 to 21. Make bold moves. By now you've built enough faith muscle to take bigger steps. Send that email, register for that class, make the call, attend the meeting, or invest in what your intuition nudges you toward. Pair each action with the affirmation, I am guided to the right place, the right people at the right time. Exercises to strengthen intuition. Silent day. Spend half a day without social media, TV, or news. This quiet helps you hear your inner voice more clearly. Converse with your subconscious. Before sleep, ask, what should I do tomorrow to move closer to my goal? Trust that the answer will arrive in the form of an idea or opportunity. Signs of confirmation. When you notice the same sign 3 times in 24 hours, a word, a number, or an image, take it as a nudge to act. A man named James once dreamed of opening a bakery. Every day he affirmed, my bakery is taking shape now. One day a flyer landed right at his doorstep, an invitation to a free baking course at the community center. He attended, met a renowned chef, and was introduced to an investor. 6 months later, his dream bakery opened its doors. If you are ready to act on faith, share in the comments. I step forward with faith and intuition. When we declare together, we weave an invisible web of support, helping each of us move faster toward our dreams. Now you have faith, you have released fear, and you have learned to act on intuition. The next part will weave everything you've learned into a single thread, so you won't just change a moment, but transform the entire flow of your life. It will be a closing chapter of deep inspiration, one you will not want to miss. My dear friend, we have traveled a journey together from recognizing the power of words to understanding the link between faith and fear, learning how to plant positive seeds in the subconscious, and finally stepping into action guided by intuition. Now you hold in your hands a spiritual key, one that can open any door you truly desire. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, when you speak your word with faith, the whole universe will rush to bring it into form. This is not mere philosophy, it is the law by which life moves. You've heard the stories I've shared. They were not the work of blind luck, but of souls who chose to believe and to act. Remember, life is not a battle to be won. It is a game to be explored and created. Every thought you nurture, every word you speak, every action you take is a move you place upon the board. And the most wonderful truth is you are the one who decides how to play. I want to leave you with one affirmation you can carry from this moment onward. All that I desire is already prepared for me, and I step forward to receive it with faith and gratitude. Read this each morning when you awaken, and each night before you sleep. Don't just say it, feel it, as though it is already true in your life. When you live in the energy of what you desire, it is no longer a distant dream, it becomes a natural part of your present. If these words have touched your heart, I invite you to share in the comments the affirmation you will carry with you. Writing it down is not only a personal act, it adds your light to the shared field of energy we are building together, where thousands of beliefs and dreams unite, amplifying and accelerating each other into reality. And if you wish to keep walking this path of exploring spiritual lore, I invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications. Each new message will be like a stepping stone on your path, bringing you closer to the life your soul has always dreamed of. You are not here by accident. You have found this message at the very moment you needed it. So don't just listen and carry what you've learned today into every moment of your life. Let every word you speak be a seed of love, of hope, and of the very best life has to offer. The universe is always listening. And I believe that from this moment on, your story is beginning a new chapter, one in which miracles are not rare events, but a daily way of living.